If Luke was your first boyfriend, do you think you would have gotten married? How do you both deal with fights? Very differently. This video is just basically me saying that I'm a crazy person. It's a hard pass for me. No pun intended. The last question, oh gosh. This video is just, I wish there was vodka in this. This is gonna make me sound like a crazy. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a new series on my channel called Coffee with Courtney, and basically what this channel is going to be about is you guys picking the topic of the day, grabbing a cup of coffee, grabbing a tea, you ask me a few questions over on Instagram, and then I will answer the questions that you have for me in the videos that I make for this series. Today's Coffee with Courtney subject is about relationships. I am in no way a relationship guru, nor am I a professional. This is just going to be based on my opinions and my experiences, my life experiences, and answering questions that you guys have surrounding those. I wrote down some questions that you guys asked me over on Instagram. They're in this little book, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I have 13 questions. I will try my best to get through all of them for you, but we'll see how we go. Grab a tea, grab a coffee. Let's talk about relationships. The first question that I wrote down is best relationship advice after having a baby. I guess my best relationship advice would be to communicate and be very aware that sleep deprivation plays a huge role in your moods after having a baby, as well as obviously you've got a lot of hormonal changes going on inside you as a woman after you have a baby. So you need to be aware, and your husband needs to be aware, that mixed with the hormonal changes and the sleep deprivation, there's going to be some tough times and some tough conversations and some moods being thrown around in the air. And it's super important to communicate through those. I'm very lucky in the fact that Luke is very laid back and relaxing, so understanding. So communication was key in the first months after having a baby. And I would say that's probably my advice after having a baby. How long did it take for Luke to bond with Talia when he first met her? If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I have a 3-year-old. She was 14 months old when Luke met her. Obviously, she is from a previous marriage. If you guys remember, she just hated meeting new people. I couldn't take her out in public. I couldn't take her to the shops because if anyone even looked at her, she would just burst into tears and cry and cry and cry, and she would be crying for the rest of the day. It was very, very stressful. And so when I met Luke, I warned him and I said, just so you know, my baby doesn't like especially men, but just like new people in general. She's probably gonna cry when you meet her. And so when he came in, he had that in mind, and he sat down with her and he started, instantly started playing with her toys and being like, what's this? And distracting her from, I guess, whatever she was scared of at that age, 14 months old. And they bonded instantly. And that was a huge thing for me because, like I said, she was scared of everyone. So that was one of the first things that made me go, this guy is amazing. I don't know, it was extremely shocking to me because I was not expecting that to happen. It wasn't on my radar that she would be okay with him being in our house because she just cried when anyone met her. But I was very thankful that they bonded straight away and they have a really good relationship. If Luke was your first boyfriend, do you think you would have gotten married? Wow, what a question. I'm gonna say probably not. I feel like when you meet in life is very important in a relationship. Obviously, you don't know for sure what would have happened if we had have met early on, but people change and grow as they grow into adults, and it's hard to grow and change together as a couple. Sometimes you kind of grow and you grow apart. But I think that I was in a very different place in my life when I was younger, and so was he. So I don't know. Obviously, there's no way to know for sure. I feel like I was not, I wasn't thinking about settling down and getting married at a young age. That just wasn't what I was looking for. So I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer that question. It would be nice. I would have loved to meet him earlier and have heaps more years with him, but I just don't know if it would have worked if we had have met when we were teenagers. I'm not sure. What is the best thing about Luke? Oh man, I can't pinpoint one thing. Just everything that makes up Luke is his patience and how much he cares and how sensitive he is towards my my moods and my whatever issue is going on at the time. He's just very thoughtful and caring, and he doesn't lose it. Like, he doesn't get angry, he just understands. He's just such a nice, understanding person, and that is exactly what I need. I feel like in particular, it runs in my family that we're quite feisty women, and we can be quite high maintenance. And we kind of need that level-headed, very calm, chill, relaxed person, and that is just Luke all over. So I love that he balances me out. He's just an amazing person to everyone, not just to me. He's just the nicest guy. And if you meet him in real life, anyone who knows him or is related to him will say the same thing. He's just the most amazing person. If you had your time again, would you still have kids with your ex-husband? Yeah, of course I would. There's no part of me that doesn't want Talia to exist. I don't know how else to answer that. Not only that, but I wouldn't have been looking or open to meeting single dads when I met Luke if I didn't have a child as well. So no, I don't regret having my daughter. And also on top of that, it helped me meet Luke, which is just, everything happens for a reason. I know that not everybody believes that, but I believe that everything happens for a reason, and I don't regret anything. How do you feel about girls being older in a relationship compared to a man being older? So every relationship I've ever had other than Luke, I have been the oldest one in the relationship. I don't know if I've ever said that to you guys, but that's how it is. I've always been the oldest in a relationship. Whether it be by like a year or a few months or whatever, I've always been the oldest. And then that is something that when I left my previous marriage, I was like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. Guys mature so much slower than women, and I just can't handle the immaturity of of young guys. So when I was looking, not for a relationship when I met Luke, but just looking for fun, I refused to look at anyone under 30 because I was just like, not gonna go there. And I was 27 at the time. I'm gonna just say, I don't know if it has anything to do with age, because Luke is a mature person as it is, and Luke is Luke. He's just an amazing guy. But I think age probably plays a huge part into why we're able to communicate so well and why we're able to work so well as a couple, because we're on the same wavelength. We're both up there, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I just feel like it's much harder to communicate and make a relationship work when one of you are much younger than the other in forms of maturity. That's not to say that you can't make it work. You can't make it work. Obviously, people meet when they're really young and they grow up and they get married and they live happily ever after. I'm not saying that it can't work. I'm just saying, for me personally, I found it much more difficult to communicate with someone who is younger than me. That's just my personal opinion. Don't come at me. I know that there are relationships out there that do work where the women are older or there's a huge age gap. I'm just saying, for me personally, in my personal experience, it didn't work being the oldest in the relationship, but that it might not have anything to do with age. It might have just been a coincidence. We need to try and get through these questions. Do the kids care when they see you and Luke being intimate, like kissing? For the most part, Luke and I try and not be intimate around the children. Obviously, there are times where we'll be like kissing or something in the kitchen and someone will come around the corner and they don't show that they care. I can't speak for them because I'm not them, but they, not from what I can see, that they care. But like I said, we don't go out of our way to be intimate in front of them. I don't think they mind, but like I said, we don't go out of our way. How do you both deal with fights? Very differently. Like I said earlier, it just runs in my family. We're feisty, and women are feisty, tend to be a bit more feisty in general. And like I said, Luke is just so relaxed. So if I get angry about something or something sets me off, he just listens and he's calm and he tries to understand where I'm coming from, and it honestly just changes how our arguments go. You can hear the neighbors' kids, I'm sorry. How arguments go. In the past, when I've been in previous relationships, that hasn't been the case. There's just been like lots of biting back in fights and things like that, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and you end up yelling and whatever. But I can safely say that Luke and I don't have yelling arguments. It's not something that happens because Luke is just so calm. If I do start becoming irrational and being like angry about whatever, even whether it's a big or small thing that I'm angry about, he goes, no, stop, talk to me, like I want to understand where you're coming from. And then if it seems irrational, he does go, you really need to like listen to what you're saying because it's not making sense. I feel like I tend to make big deals out of little things in my head sometimes, and it's not always as it seems. So he's very good at understanding. This video is just basically me saying that I'm a crazy person. But anyway, that's when it comes to arguments, he doesn't start them. He's never nasty he hasn't got a nasty bone in his body. So when it comes to fighting, it just doesn't happen very often. We mostly just talk through what the issue is and come to an agreement, or it's something that we sort out. Whereas in previous relationships, it was just like yell, argue, don't talk for a few days, sweep it under the rug and pretend like nothing happened. That's what it was like in my previous marriage, which is so unhealthy, but that doesn't happen in this marriage. And I find that it's really important to find someone that can communicate during an argument. What are your views on partners watching, am I allowed to say that word? Partners watching intimate videos of other people. I don't know, do you know what I'm talking about? I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. This one, man, I don't know. I'm gonna just be completely open and honest and transparent about how I feel about it. I know that not everyone is the same. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone sees things differently, and that is completely fine. As long as you and your partner talk and communicate and come to an agreement together of what you feel comfortable with, both of you feel comfortable with, then it's fine. Work within your relationship and what your beliefs are surrounding the subject. But I personally, I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I personally feel like I would feel like I'm not doing my job as a wife if he felt the need to do that. I know you're probably gonna come at me, and I know not everyone feels that way, but I would feel not good enough if that was something that was regularly happening or even happening at all in my relationship. I don't mind watching those intimate videos together as a couple if it's something we've agreed on and it's something we want to do together, while we're being intimate together. I don't mind that at all, that's fine. But I don't like the idea of my partner going behind my back and doing that because they don't feel satisfied. And I know that that might not be the intent. It might not be because he's not satisfied with me. It might be because that's just what he wants to do. But even then, I still don't feel comfortable with it. I'm sorry, come at me. I know not everyone feels the same way, but that's just how I feel about the situation. This is gonna divide. Like, I know there's gonna be people on both sides of this. People that will be agreeing with me, people that will be like, you're fucking nuts, like, who cares? And that's completely fine. Like I said, everyone's different. Everyone works with their own boundaries in their relationships. And Luke and I have spoken about it, and we're both in agreement of what's going on, and we have a very healthy sex life. And I feel like if it ever comes to a point where one or both of us are not getting enough, I feel confident that we would speak up about it because we are very good at communicating and sorting out issues. So it's a hard pass for me. No pun intended. Do you and Luke share a bank account? Yes, we do. We have a joint bank account. However, I still have my Centrelink payments and what very little money I make from YouTube going into a separate account just because I haven't bothered to change it over, and it's such a small amount that I just don't, it's nothing compared to what he earns. And he has been asking me to change it over into our joint bank account. I just haven't done it because I'm, number one, not good with technology, and number two, I'm like, I make no money. I make very little money. I don't see the point when his wage is so high, but I should contribute. I should contribute to the joint bank account. Basically, the joint bank account is just a bank account that has both of our names on it, and he gets paid into it and I spend it and he spends it. I'm a stay-at-home mum. I don't have an income. I get paid very minimal amount from Centrelink for family tax benefit and also a small amount from YouTube. But basically what I earn from those two things they go onto bills and it goes back into my channel. So once money has accrued from YouTube, I generally will use that money to go spend in a store and do a haul video. So basically the money going into my account, I put back into my channel to hopefully grow my channel and earn more money. So yes, we do have a joint bank account, kind of. How do the kids feel about being with only you when Luke is away for work? For those of you who don't know, my husband works week on, week off, and I have his kids for 3 days while he's away. We have them 50-50, and so 3 of the days of the week that we have them, he's not here and I have them by myself. Honestly, I don't know how they feel about it. I was expecting more questions and more like, where's dad and why isn't he here? And there was just nothing. It was just like it was normal to them and it didn't seem to affect them. Obviously, I can't speak for them because once again, I am not them. But just from where I'm standing and what I can see, they don't ask questions. They understand that dad's at work and they're excited when he comes home, but I don't feel like they are affected an awful amount. And if they are, they haven't shown that they are, if that makes sense. The last question, oh gosh. The last question is, how do you feel about Luke having female friends? And I'm gonna just add in there, how does Luke feel about me having male friends? Because I do have male friends. Okay. This video is just, I wish there was vodka in this. Luke doesn't have a huge amount of friends in general, and he doesn't have any female friends that I know of. So I can't really speak from experience in this particular relationship of how I feel about him having female friends, because he doesn't have female friends. I feel like if someone has friends going into this is gonna make me sound like a crazy bitch. I feel like if someone has friends going into a relationship, like if Luke had a female friend that he'd been friends with before he met me and they're good friends or whatever, I feel like that's fine as long as there's obviously no cheating going on. My issue is in a past relationship, not my previous marriage, but the relationship before that, he did have a female friend that he'd been friends with forever that I only found out about halfway through the relationship, and it turns out he'd been cheating on me and he kept ditching me for her and everything, and it was just like a whole thing, and that's honestly scarred me with like female friends surrounding partners. But it comes down to trust really, and how much you trust your partner, and I trust Luke 100%. I know he wouldn't cheat on me, and I feel like like I said, if he had a female friend that he'd been friends with for a while and he was honest about it and straight up about it, I feel like that makes the world of difference. If they're going to come to you and be like, just so you know, I have this female friend, we've been friends for ages, nothing's going on, that's how it is, and that's fine. When it comes to your partner making friends of the opposite sex while you're with them, I don't know. Like, the only experience I have is from my ex-boyfriend, and it obviously went the way it did, and it really hurt me, and it took me years to recover from that, and I still have trust issues because of it. So I don't know, I feel like I would be a little bit uncomfortable if he was going to go out and make some female friends now, but at the same time, there just needs to be open, honest communication, and if at any point either of you feel uncomfortable with anything going on in your relationship, if you guys work together and you're a team, it's important to sort any issues out regardless of what it's about. So I feel like every relationship is so different, and you just need to communicate with your partner about how you feel if you do feel uncomfortable if they have a friend of the opposite sex. Now, when it comes to me having friends of the opposite sex, you guys know James, he's been on my channel for years. I've been friends with James since school. Like, there's never been anything intimate between the two of us. It's always just been, we've just been friends. Now, it's hard because I have been friends with James for a really long time, and I feel like if Luke was to, come into the picture and then turn around and all of a sudden be like, you can't be friends with him, it would be hard, and it's not something that I would be okay with to lose friends over. But at the same time, you don't want to make your partner feel uncomfortable. So like I said, you just need to communicate with them. It's very important. Communication is everything. That's how you get your point across. That's how you come to an agreement as a couple. It's just how you make a relationship work. Without communication, it just isn't going to work. Trust me, I know that from experience in my previous marriage. So I feel like there just needs to be an agreement that you come to as a couple, whether it be, okay, you'll be like you guys can still be friends, just make sure that you let me know when you hang out. Or this is just an example, this isn't what goes on in my relationship, but just as an example, come to an agreement like that where both of you feel comfortable. And that's just all it is, communication. Everything. I feel like the answer to all of these questions has just been communication. I feel like past relationships, it's really hard to leave things in the past when you have been screwed over by previous boyfriends. It's hard to forget things. I learn by experiencing. So if I experience that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's how that works. That must be how that works. I would love to hear your opinions in the comments. And I don't want to hear you're a bitch for having these opinions and blah, blah, blah. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, so whatever. But I'm really interested to hear what you personally think in the comment section about partners with friends of the opposite sex. Do you feel the same as me in the fact that if they've been friends, like if Luke had a female friend that he'd been friends with for years through school and it wasn't an intimate thing, it's okay? I actually had a male friend that I used to be friends with, reach out to me within the last few months, and him and I did used to be intimate, but we didn't date. So it was just fun with this guy. And he did reach out to me, and I obviously went straight to Luke and was like, this is the situation. Him and I were intimate. We were friends. We were never dating. How do you feel about it? And he was like, no, that makes me very uncomfortable. I don't want you speaking to him. And I was like, completely understand. I would feel exactly the same if Luke had a female friend that he was intimate with and she reached out to him. I would feel exactly the same. I know I would. So I was completely okay with it. I blocked him and we moved on. Communication, come to an agreement. That's just how it is. So it's not just one-sided in our relationship. We do both feel very similar when it comes to that particular topic. Anyway, I've been talking for a really long time and my neighbors have just started their construction up. Thankfully, I got through all the questions without them starting back up on their renovations, but I got through. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about my first Coffee with Courtney video. I'm excited to do another one. It will be a different topic next time. Head over to Instagram and follow me over there so that you can be involved in the questions and also picking the topics of what the video is going to be about on that particular week. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
And you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. Round a champion, a champion. I got tons of soul on my true collective ball. Famous, also famous, #1 desirable.